This is the Seestar S50. It costs $400, fits in a backpack and runs from your phone. And this is my dedicated astrophotography rig. It costs approximately $2,800, requires a laptop, heavy EQ mount, guiding, and a tangle of wires. But does spending 7 times the money actually give you 7 times better images of space? That's what I'm going to try and look at in today's video. I shot 2 famous deep space targets, the Seagull Nebula and Bode's galaxy, using both setups to see if a cheap smart scope can actually compete with pro-level cooled camera rig. And the results on Bode's galaxy honestly shocked me. And in this corner I've got the heavyweight, which is my wide field rig. This is the wide field rig because it features the Samyang 135mm lens. And I've got the Zwo ASI MC Pro 533 camera here. And I've got my guiding setup here. And I've got my equatorial mount here, which is a Gem 26 Ioptron. And all of this monster cost about $2,800. In the second part of the video, I swapped the lens for my telescope, which is a 130mm Celestron lens and reflector telescope, and so I used that instead on the Bode's galaxy. Okay, so with that all said, you can see all the wires and setup necessary for this as well. Much more complicated, much more expensive. Let's see how it compares to the Seestar over here. So this is my Seestar S50, and I've got it on an equatorial mount, as you can see, which means I can polar align it. This is the cheap setup, just $400, and as you'll see later in the video, I'm gonna put this contender in the lightweight corner, but maybe it's not so lightweight after all. What I really like about the Seestar S50 is that you just plop it down, tell the app what to look for, and it does the rest. It even stacks your images. I ran it in EQ mode and I used my phone, and I think it's got a fighting chance. And speaking of using your phone to capture the universe, if you want to help support this channel, I actually designed custom phone cases featuring my own deep space astrophotography. They look absolutely incredible. Protect your phone while you're out shooting in the dark, and every purchase helps me make more comparison videos just like this. There's a link right down in the description. Now back to the heavyweight corner, my custom rig. This is target number 1, the Seagull Nebula, or IC2117. This is a massive faint emission nebula. It's notoriously tricky because the outer wings of the dust require serious light gathering power. Here is what the $400 Seestar managed. Honestly, for the price, it's incredible that a piece of plastic and glass you control from your couch can capture this. We have the bright head of the seagull and some decent nebulosity. But do be aware that the Seestar has a focal length of only 240 millimeters. So it's much tighter in. We can't see the wings at all, but what we can see is the lack of a cooled sensor. The background noise is heavy and the fainter dust is just lost. But what about broadband targets such as galaxies? I pointed my Seestar S50 and my more expensive setup, this time not using the Samyang 135mm, but using a Celestron 130 SLT telescope. This target is much brighter, and this is where things get really interesting. Now look at this side by side. The $2,800 rig obviously has better resolution. We can see slightly finer details in M81, and I can't see the Cigar Galaxy at all, whereas that I can see that on the edge
of the Seestar's image. But take a look more closely at the Seestar. For $400, capturing the spiral structure of a galaxy 12 million light years away is mind-blowing to me. Yes, the stars are a bit more bloated compared to the Samyang rig, and the background isn't as smooth. There is definitely a bit more noise in the Seestar image, but the gap in quality here is much smaller than the gap in price. So who do you think is the winner? If you're a pixel peeping and want to pull out the faintest, most breathtaking details of nebula kind of person, you can't beat a dedicated rig with a cool camera like the 533 MC Pro. But there is a price to pay, $2,800 versus $400. For this, you get better dynamic range, less noise, and cleaner data, that's for sure. But if you are on a budget, or if you just want to capture galaxies without spending all your hard-earned cash, then the Seestar S50 is an absolute miracle of modern tech, and I'd say you're going to get really, really good results, particularly with the galaxies. So I'd like to ask you now, which images did you actually prefer? Let me know in the comments below, and any other thoughts that you have, because there's a big price difference. But what did you think? Is it worth spending the extra or not?